So imagine you walk through your house and there's a bunch of lights on, and you go,
Hmm.
that's strange. There shouldn't be lights on. And you just walk through the house and you turn all the lights off. And then the alarm system goes off and you turn that off. And then the smoke alarm goes off and you turn that off. And you go, so strange. And then a few minutes later, you're dead.
Let's talk about that because that makes sense that symptoms are allies. So like I know that I'm intelligent enough to know like okay, this is not normal, this isn't good.
Sure,
And the answer is
totally.
not a Xanax, and I can't go just run 2 hours a day. Like that would be amazing, but I don't have all that time.
Right.
So
But what do I
what
do? Right.
right. And,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people suck it up to it's perimenopause, it's menopause, it's aging, it's stress, it's whatever. What is typically lacking in our nutrition or in
Mm.
our supplements? What is that when you found that is typically lacking, and what do we do about it?
Mm. Yeah, one of the things that's lacking is magnesium, like we're talking about. We're talking about lithium being missing. We're talking about minerals that control blood sugar, both different trace minerals, but also specifically large doses of chromium are usually needed to restore that. But you have to absorb it because virtually every chromium product we've ever tested is around 5% or less absorbed in our lab. So, looking at how do we actually, because why does absorption matter for people that aren't as into nutrition? Well, absorption matters because it's not what you put in your mouth, it's what gets absorbed, and that matters because if you can't reverse the deficiency by absorbing it, which is the only way to actually reverse it, then you are stuck with the deficiency of that thing, which what I clarify for people that it seems like waving a magic wand is I understand all the interactions of these nutrients, of these elements that are, again, just what build the entire planet. And that's not up
Mhm.
for grabs. So we all agree on that. And that's what builds our hair. So we test our hair to see what is missing. And then that gives us this path of, oh, okay, that's what's wrong. And by reversing that, if I absorb it, I reverse it, and then the symptom goes away because the problem, the underlying dysfunction is not there. The cells are happy.
So I want to back up a little bit because I want to make sure I'm following and that anyone
Yeah.
listening is following. So if I hear you correctly, it's we want to figure out what's missing. So typically when someone's described anxiety, you're seeing a trend that it could be chromium, lithium, magnesium as three main things that could be missing. And it's not that people don't think they're getting it, like they might be taking a random supplement with those things,
Mm,
but they might not be absorbing it. So
mm,
if I'm hearing you correctly, the best way to know if you're absorbing it is not a blood test or a urine test, or it's an actual hair test because that
mm.
shows if your body's been absorbing it. Did I explain that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It could be other things like copper as well. And that's a larger conversation around iron and how you might have iron overload, even if, and this might be a life-changing soundbite for someone. I know it is. With your audience, there's plenty of people, women and men, that are told that they have iron anemia and they actually have iron overload. And the
Mm.
reason why, and this goes to the fact of why you want to test hair, is hair is tissue, just like skin is tissue. We might think of it differently. It doesn't matter how you think of it. It's actually very similar. And you looking now, you have long hair. Even for a guy, I have fairly long hair. So, if I'm looking at the hair 6 inches down from my head, that's no longer accurate. But the half inch close to the scalp is very recent, very accurate. It's the last
Mhm.
6 weeks or so. But in the case of something like iron, iron can be, this is from scientific literature, up to 10 times higher in the tissue, and yet no medical doctor and a normal, and I never want to come down too hard on doctors because most of them went to school for the right reason,
Sure.
and they just like the curriculum is what's wrong, not the person. And so, but they are for sure, again, not opinion, being taught other things besides this. And so, what we're seeing, whether it's them or a uninformed nutritionist or anyone else that means well but doesn't essentially do well by helping the person, what they're misdiagnosing is they don't understand that iron can be 10x higher in the tissue. So if you're iron anemic in blood, that doesn't really mean much. The body can be dumping it out of your blood and putting it in your tissue. Meanwhile, people are going gray faster. So if you want to go gray very slowly, which is just a sign of the body running out of energy, which can be caused by iron overload or copper deficiency or
Mhm.
manganese deficiency, all of which we look at in the hair test, because it actually shows blood is really, just as a aside, really the last place you're going to see a deficiency show up, because the body needs to work really hard at maintaining the blood to be perfect. Otherwise, organs start shutting down. So the body
Wow.
will actually pull from your reserves. So it's like a checking account and a savings account. The blood is like this checking account. It's pulling from the savings account because there's not enough in the checking account. And then pretty soon, that's fine until what happens? There's nothing in the savings account. And that's how people have bone disease. They have all sorts of skin issues. They have gut issues. They can't focus. They're chronically
Hmm.
tired. They've gone gray either rapidly all at once or over time. And for sure, people may go, "Oh, I have plenty of energy, even though I have gray hair." You're just pulling on those reserves. That's how that
That
happens.
makes
And
sense.
again, that is not an opinion. That's just a poorly understood truth.
Yeah.
So,
So that
yeah.
makes sense. So a hair test is is the best way in your opinion to see what's
Hmm.
actually really going on with these things. Now,
Totally.
when someone's experiencing something like anxiety, and I want to talk through all these things. I want to go back and talk about sleep and mental clarity in a minute, but like
Hmm.
anxiety specific, let's just use that as an example. Someone's experiencing that, they feel what I'm talking about, that feels like they're on caffeine, but they're not, and it's like
Hmm.
that anxious feeling.
It's a great
They,
description. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's literally because I used to think that
Yeah.
I used to think, what did I have that had caffeine? And I'm like, I didn't have caffeine. It's anxiety. That's what it
Hmm.
feels like. You've probably
Yeah.
never experienced the anxiety part. You're so calm. I'm like, have you ever actually experienced it?
I
Um,
used to all the time when I had magnesium deficiency as an
really,
athlete, as a student. My personality was different. I was stressed all the time. Yeah,
really. Wow.
yeah,
Okay,
totally
because you're
different
like the most
person.
calm person.
Thank
I
you.
think calm. I think of you. You're like just calm.
Yeah. And
Um,
I do meditate and everything, but if I had a magnesium deficiency, you would know about it. You go, what's wrong? Like, you're not like, wow. And
wow.
you also like your skin doesn't look good and as good or whatever. Like you would notice outer signs and
Wow.
how the person's personality is.
That's wild.
So, yeah.
So, okay, when somebody just goes and does like a Xanax or smokes marijuana or whatever they're doing to
CBD,
CBD to
anything.
stop that feeling,
Not that
um,
that's,
it's
yeah.
temporarily stopping it, which might have a glimpse of a benefit but long
Mhm.
term, you're not actually fixing the problem. Is that
So here's how I look at it, because that's a great way to say it. The way I would say it is, imagine you walk through your house and you come home and there's a bunch of lights on, and you go,
Mhm.
that's strange. There shouldn't be lights on. And you just walk through the house and you turn all the lights off.
Okay?
And then the alarm system goes off and you turn that off. And then the smoke alarm goes off and you turn that off. And you go, so strange. And then a few minutes later, you're dead. Like that's what we're talking about here.
Whoa, that's intense. So I get that. Like you're all these things you're just ignoring. Like, okay, I got this symptom. Let's shut that down. Let's get this. But then
That's
you're missing the whole problem that's happening. Wow, that's
yeah.
powerful.
We don't do
Ooh,
this on purpose, but this is what happens. And this is how
wow.
people die. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so I get to fix my anxiety feeling
Yeah.
because now you scared
Totally.
me.